When I heard that Elon Musk and Dodge were going to cut government expenses and reduce the budget deficit, I was hopeful.
What are the budgetary savings goals? And
our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion.
I was hopeful not because I am a Republican or a Democrat. I was hopeful because finally someone was going to do something about this massive government problem. Elon Musk told us this.
What are the budgetary savings goals? And
our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. The reason we're doing this is because if we don't do it, America's going to go insolvent, we're going to go bankrupt, and nobody's going to get anything.
I agree, but after I heard this on the news, I give up.
We also essentially approved a budget, $1 trillion. We have to build our military, and I'm proud to say, actually, the biggest one we've ever done for the military.
I give up. So all this firing of government workers, all the talk about government waste and fraud, all this chaos about tariffs bringing in more government revenue, all of this so we can spend more money on military, I give up. My name is Mariusz Konieczny and I've been investing in the stock market full-time for 16 years. I'm also the author of 11 books on investing and the founder of microcapexplosions.com. No matter how much our government collects in revenue, it's never enough. In 1939, it collected $6.3 billion, but it managed to spend $9.1 million. Oh yeah, it just didn't tax enough. Okay, let's tax more and bring in more money. In 1942, it brought in $14.6 billion. This must have been enough, right? No. It managed to spend $35.1 billion. I know what the problem is. This is in billions of dollars. Only if the government just collected trillions of dollars, the problem would have been solved. The government would have no problem balancing the budget, right? First time it collected $1 trillion in revenues, it was under George Bush in 1990. Was this enough to pay for all the expenses? Absolutely not. Instead, the government found a way to overspend by 20%. During the last 94 years, there were only 11 years when the government spent less than it brought in revenues. That's it. 11 years out of 94. This is infuriating, okay? They always find an excuse to overspend. Oh, we had a war to fight. Oh, we had to help the poor. Oh, we had a pandemic. Now we need our military to be strong. So let's blow $1 trillion per year. No, this has to stop. This is unsustainable. You want to have a strong military? Okay, do so within the budget. You want to spend on welfare? Fine, do so within the budget.
The reason we're doing this is because if we don't do it, America's going to go insolvent, we're going to go bankrupt, and nobody's going to get anything.
Look at the US national debt. It is spiraling out of control. It is now approaching $37 trillion. And Trump wants to do this?
We also essentially approved a budget, $1 trillion. We have to build our military, and I'm proud to say, actually, the biggest one we've ever done for the military.
Make the military great again? I have a different suggestion. How about make America fiscally responsible again? And forget about the military until you get there. Did you know that the US government has to refinance $7 trillion worth of debt in 2025? The government is already spending almost $1 trillion on interest expense alone. This is more than spending on defense. This is more than spending on Medicaid. This is a complete disaster. I agree with Elon Musk.
If we don't do this, we're sunk. Unless this exercise is successful, the ship of America will sink. That's why we're doing it.
Now, almost $1 trillion worth of interest expense is before refinancing of the $7 trillion worth of debt. This debt has a lower rate than where the rates are right now. and the Fed is being stubborn about lowering interest rates, but our president wants to make our military great again? I feel like I live in a mental institution. You have the federal government that is overspending as if money was going out of style tomorrow. As a result, the government is creating inflation. The Federal Reserve is fighting the inflation and making the federal government spend more on interest expense, creating a bigger budget deficit and thus creating more inflation. This is just complete freaking insanity. I want to scream. What if our government was responsible? I can't believe that I'm even posing this question. What if our government was responsible? Number one, we would have no inflation. But the irresponsibility of our government is nothing new. The US government does not have a monopoly on irresponsibility. Kings and queens did the same thing centuries ago. But if our government was responsible, there would be no inflation. Two, we would have lower interest rates. Right now, our government is competing with private enterprises for capital. And because its borrowing needs are so huge and inflation is high, the lenders require higher interest rates to lend. But if our government was somewhat responsible, the opposite would be true. Number three, there would be more capital available for businesses. Because right now, small companies have impossible time getting access to capital. I mean, why would the lenders or investors take on the risk if they can just lend the money to the government risk-free? But if the interest rates were lower as a result of the government being responsible, the only way to get high return on investment would be to finance these small companies, and those companies would create more private jobs. Number four, there would be no need for tariffs. With no budget deficits, Trump would not need to chase tariffs for additional revenue.
The ultimate goal of the tariffs, and the president says it all the time, bring your factory here. So what will happen over time, we'll have substantial tariff income in the beginning. Manufacturers will build their factory here. The tariffs will drop, but the revenue from the factories, from income taxes, from all the new jobs will go up.
Also, Trump would not need to pick fights with China because trade deficits are not really a big problem. Trump just raised tariffs on China to at least 104%. China does not seem to care. Why? Because China owns $800 billion worth of US debt, and US national debt is its Achilles heel. But China sees it as an opportunity. During the time that the US desperately needs interest rates to come down, China just sold $50 billion worth of US treasuries, causing interest rates to increase. The bottom line is this: we are our worst enemies. Most of the things that we are facing right now are mostly caused by the government's irresponsibility. Inflation, caused by the government. High interest rates, caused by the government. Doge, Elon Musk, caused by the government. You want to fix the problems, Donald Trump? Then balance the budget. But no, you want $1 trillion military. So I give up. You will never solve the problem.
I can end the deficit in 5 minutes.
How?
You just pass a law that says that anytime there's a deficit of more than 3% of GDP, all sitting members of Congress are ineligible for re-election.